A critical appreciation of the poem The Pulley by George Herbert, a metaphysical poet. The Pulley is a significant poem by George Herbert. George Herbert is a religious poet. He deals with the relationship between God and man. In this poem, the poet tells us about the scheme or plan of God in the creation of man. God at first created man with a certain goal, a certain scheme in his mind. He proposed to bless man with his gifts. At the time of creation, सृष्टि के समय, मानव के सृष्टि के समय, God's glass of blessings stood ready for disposal. God proposed that all the valuable possessions of the world which lay scattered should be included within the short span of human life. God first blessed man with the strength and next with beauty, wisdom, honor, and pleasure. But when almost all the blessings in the glass were given to man, God stopped short. He stopped at once. He got that rest or contentment lay at the bottom of the glass. God did not bless man with rest or contentment. While providing man with all sorts of material pleasures, God did not give him contentment, satisfaction. For God wanted to pull man towards himself. He wanted that man should hanker after God. He wanted to provide man with his spiritual urges, आध्यात्मिक प्रेरणाएं and tendencies, pravrittiyan. Therefore, he denied contentment to man. According to the divine scheme, man is to keep his various gifts with discontentment and restlessness. The title of the poem is justified. It is significant. The poet calls his poem The Pulley. A pulley is a mechanical device, a mechanical contrivance for lifting weights with a downward application of force. God uses a pulley like device to pull man towards himself while providing man with the power to enjoy all kinds of earthly pleasure, joys, or happiness. God makes him restless and discontented with earthly pleasures. God raises man spiritually by weighing him down with weariness of all his earthly joys. If God had blessed man with rest or contentment, man would have been contented with physical joys, with mundane joys, pleasures, and he would have forgotten God. God likes to maintain a vital contact with his creature. Man, man, therefore, God uses a pulley like device to draw man towards himself. He implants a spiritual fire and a divine discontent in the human breast. He blesses man with the spiritual faculty. He creates a spiritual being in man. Thus, the pulley is a poem about the making of man and the relationship between man and his maker, who is God. Herbert is a great religious poet. The central idea, the central theme of his poem is the psychology of his religious experiences. But here he writes of the psychology of God in the creation of man. Why did God create man? The poet answers the question from God's point of view. God is a great maker. Herbert sings the glory of God. He expresses his determination to write devotional poem in the following lines. My poor abilities in poetry shall be all and even consecrated to God's glory. Herbert is a skillful poet, is a great artist. He speaks of secret things in the simplest language, in the simple words, and with the aid of the most homely comparisons. The central image in the poetry is that of the pulley. God uses a pulley like device to draw man to himself, just as a pulley is used to lift weights, so God makes man restless and is spiritually discontented in order to draw man to himself. The divine plan is ingenious. Herbert uses an ingenious imagery to indicate the ingenuity of the divine plan. He does not fight shy of using puns even in devotional poems. So, in the poem here, he puns on the word rest.